Hi everyone, welcome to Me the Astronomy Trial Hangout Air Live. This is going to be a trial period just for probably 20 minutes. I'm just going to test some of our audio for the transit of Mercury, which is taking place on Monday. I've got the laptop set up here. I think whilst we're just testing, I might as well give an overview of some of the equipment that people will be using for the transit on Monday. I want to do a few tests around the speed on the internet. Please, if anybody joins and you want to join the broadcast, by all means, please join and let me know how things are going, how the audio is. I'll probably go back and forth a little bit just to see how far away from the microphone it'll pick up the sound. I'm currently running off a 3G card, which will be required from Rathbaggan Lakes, where we're having the event. So it's looking good so far. Obviously, I can't see the broadcast, so if you give some feedback, and I will watch the YouTube video later and see whether that's actually working on that 3G internet connection that we have here. I have used it before for some solar hangouts and it seemed to work just fine. So I'll do a bit of testing on the video, probably do that now, and then just do a few other tests. And please, any questions you have, drop us a note and I'll try and answer them. What I'm going to do just quickly is just test some of the video, because what I'm going to do on the event is go backwards and forwards between showing images of the event and then probably actually images of footage of the actual capture on the telescope through the camera. So what we'll be doing is using the laptop to capture the transit of Mercury and then actually sharing those screen captures of the video onto the live broadcast in the same way I'm doing now. So just a very quick test just to see how that works and see if I can get it working. So I'm just going to go into screen share mode. And this should be a broadcast of an image I took a few days ago. And you can just see that's almost a full disk. You've got a couple of good sunspots in an active region up in the north there. And then you've got a couple of sunspots down the bottom. You can just see the weather wasn't great. You can see that cloud just in fine detail crossing the disk. Of course, down the bottom there, you can see a bit of a dust bunny. That's really dust on the chip on the camera. So I need to just make sure that that is all clear. Got all the equipment's got to be cleaned and just looked at before I start imaging on the day. And hopefully that video has come across nice and clear over that internet connection. Just try another screen share just to make sure. So again, just trying to share a previous image, and I'll just pick a little bit more of a close-up, and hopefully this will show. You can see the very poor conditions this was captured under, but you can see some sunspots there. And what I'll be hoping to do on Monday is capture a probably either this size or a bit closer field of view of the Mercury crossing. So we should start seeing it coming through and over the sun's disk. What I'll do then is actually during the day take a full disk and then put that close-up image over the full disk that I took during the day. Okay. So I see a few people have joined on viewers, so welcome. So just a couple of tests. I'm just going to run through the back, and if you can hear the sound, and I'll see later whether I'm actually picking the sound up or not. But just, I think, looking at some of the equipment that I've gathered here, I think on Monday what we're probably going to see is a lot of people using typical DSLRs, so a normal camera, and what they're going to be doing is actually putting a solar filter, either bought glass from the shop, dedicated solar filters made specifically for that, Or what they're going to be doing is taking homemade solar filters using proper solar filter paper. So this is actually barter film, and what I've done here is I've created a filter for my bigger telescope. I think that's what we'll see a lot of people using on Monday, is the homemade filters on top of a standard camera. There is other types of filter paper, so we'll have a look here. That's almost like an X-ray paper. I think that's Seymour Solar paper. It's just a different brand. Not quite as good as the barter paper that I'm using, but does the job. All very safe, high specifications. You've got to just make sure that whenever we make solar filters, they are made properly and fit properly onto the actual scopes themselves. Here's one I made for a little refractor. You can see this. You can see how that fits on really tightly. That's not going to come off. Okay. So just one level up, I think you'll probably see. I'm going to have this with me at Rathbaggan Lake. So this is binoculars, again, with homemade filters. And that's going to be in white light. So you will actually see the sun as a white disk. What you can do with these telescopes is put a yellow filter on them or an orange filter, and you'll see the sun in that color, but it will actually be white. White light, which is the true color of the sun. So what else have we got here? So you will see a lot of this coming up, a little refractor. So small camera, what you can do with these as well is put a DSLR on the back, or even put in a planetary camera. So this is typically a webcam, and really you can just capture those images onto your laptop through video, and then you can process them into how you want, either a full disk or close up. So this is very similar. This is a refractor, an 80mm refractor, and that's actually belongs to Stephen Kershaw from Caltech Telescopes. And you'll see this big bar on, and that's actually to piggyback on the back of this larger scope. Now, what we do is we'll take this off on Monday, and we'll actually put that directly on the mount, and probably have this available for people to view it on the day. And again, that will have a solar filter, not a homemade one, but a store from Caltech Telescopes. Solar filter, glass filter that you can actually fit on the top there. This is show you closer. So this is the solar filter that I've actually bought from, I've got this from Caltech Telescopes as well. And that's really just this is photographic paper film. So this is really for photography only. What you would get normally if you buy this either in A4 or a 1 meter sheet like this would actually be for visual observing. So it's just a thicker density and lets less light through. So I typically bought this for astrophotography, and that is actually what's in here for the full aperture telescope. Now this isn't for observing. I will have the camera on the back of this telescope, and nobody will be able to look through that one, so it'll be blocked off. And there is sort of warning discs on them. So that's that. Just having a look at some of the other ones. So that's an H alpha, so hydrogen alpha telescope. This is specifically designed for solar observing, and it blocks almost all the light out, and you will only see the hydrogen alpha. So you can't use this telescope for anything other than really solar observing. This is what I'll be using. I'll have this on my mount. So I'll have it on something similar to that on a big tripod. And this will just be tracking the sun throughout the day from the morning till the end. And then what I'll do is I'll have a webcam on the back of this connected to the laptop, and then I'll be sharing the footage that comes off the scope. And it'll actually be, this is a color camera, but it'll actually be a mono camera I'll be using on the hydrogen alpha. Lovely little scope this, they're quite expensive, but well worth it. You've got a little finder scope. Obviously you can't look at the sun directly, so you've got a sort of little finder scope that'll show you where you are on the sun, and then you've just got a heliofocuser where you can just focus in and out, and there is actually a pressure tube that will slightly adjust the pressure, and that just gives you just depending on where you are, it gives you a slightly different image. So it's, if you're imaging prominences, you might want to adjust a little bit. If you're looking to actually image some sunspots, it could be slightly different, and you want to just change the pressure inside the tube. But anybody coming down on Monday will be able to look through a couple of these hydrogen alphas and actually see some of the prominences coming off the sun, and be able to see Mercury transit right through with some actual detail from the sun's chromosphere. That's that. Okay. So something we normally bring to the solar events, and this is supplied by Charlie Bates' Solar Astronomy Project, which we do all the outreach for. Now, these won't actually be very useful other than to actually look at the sun with. You won't see Mercury, it'll be too small. There are a few sunspots on the sun at the moment. I think they're going to be too small at the moment. They certainly are. I looked today for you to be able to see them with the glasses. But sometimes when the sunspots get a lot bigger, you can actually see them with the naked eye through these glasses. These are safe solar viewing solar glasses. Okay. Just one thing I didn't look at. So just that's a little astro track. So again, it's for tracking. Again, you can either put this, I sometimes use it, the hydrogen alpha can actually go on there. It'll take it, it's quite heavy, but it'll take the hydrogen alpha. It is a little bit finicky with moving it around, but it'll work, and it's highly portable. So I think there'll probably be a couple of people using these just due to their portability, and it tracks very, very well. So, you know, once you line them up properly, that should track most of the day with a few adjustments. What else? Just a couple of other things to show you. I think we'll see a lot of these and a lot of other battery packs. So a lot of people will be bringing portable power to power the mounts, power laptops, power cameras. So we'll see quite a few of these. I'm actually going to use 3, but I'm also going to bring some extension cords. So I'm hoping to run some juice down from the main lodge at Rathbagan down to my mount, so that I'm actually not using these batteries. So what I might do is use the batteries, for instance, on one camera and scope, and then actually use the electricity for the other one and a different scope. So try and make it as much use of the power as I can. It is a long session, of course, from just after 12, and it's 12 minutes past 12. Right up until after 7 o'clock, so it's a long time to be imaging. So we've got multiple batteries in the DSLR camera. We've got powers for the mounts, and then of course we've got everything else where you might not need power, but batteries in there. And these are all really manual, so you'll just follow the sun round. But these are pretty much perfect for public viewing. People can play around with it, focus in, out, and see a full disk as well. Okay, so I think I've tested most things. Hopefully everybody could hear me when I was talking at the back. Hopefully the video was shown. I might just do another quick test on the video, and then I'll probably shut down the session. So hopefully you found some of this interesting. Definitely, if you need anything for Monday's events, definitely KTEC telescopes, and I'm not on commission, but if you want to ask Stephen, he'll be there on the day, and he could bring anything that was needed. He does have solar filters that you don't need to make, so that they're ready-made. He's got some telescopes that can be used even right down to the sort of bottom of the range. That's perfectly fine for solar viewing. And just we're hoping for good weather on Monday. Okay, thanks. Bye bye.